Gary, a 3-2 win against United. Although the scoreline may not suggest it, a dominant bounce-back performance today.
Yep, I don't think the scoreline does the performance justice. I thought it was an excellent display. You take the scatty last 2 minutes out of the equation. It was everything that you'd want. It was very thorough and very efficient defensively, and there's no question. There was a potency going forward as well. We created numerous chances, numerous openings, and really should have been more than 3 goals to the good before they've got one back, and they've got one back at our expense, our doing really, and then obviously there's another one that follows very quickly. But it was a scatty couple of minutes to finish with, but we'll pick the bones out of that on Thursday. It was very much about getting the 3 points, and I was really pleased with the performance on the whole.
Yeah, Troy Howard was left out on Saturday, which I'm sure would have frustrated him. What was his reaction like today? And what
it's
did he
been
show
excellent. He knows why he was left out on Saturday. He was, we've got a policy within the football club. They know what they need to adhere to. There's a level of standards that is required, and we had to make a couple of changes Saturday because that dropped to where it was. But his reaction was excellent. We made 6 changes today from Saturday's defeat, and you don't make them 6 changes if you're not confident and competent enough as a squad to do that. Because the performance Saturday, for large parts, especially the first 55-60 minutes, was worthy of us being in front, and that's been very much the theme for all the season. I mean, any football people and real football people that understand, we're creating a numerous amount of chances in, and dominating certain moments in the game and just not taking our chances. Today we took a couple of early ones. I thought it was a display that mirrored a lot of our early performance in the first 4, but just with that bit more efficiency on the end of it. But Troy, I was really pleased with him. I was pleased with Tyrese's contribution before he got injured. Jack Evans was excellent. I thought he controlled and sort of orchestrated that midfield in a really special way, really, because he kept moving the ball about and moving it into great areas to create such situations that sort of helped Troy and helped Femi into great positions, and and it was a lot of his doing, because he got in, as I say, some great little pockets to get us on the half turn. So really pleased. Nash's goal was special. I think it was, as I say, a lot of good to take out of today's performance, and I'm really pleased with most.
Yeah, 2 for Femi. He was obviously in great form last season. How happy are you for him to be back amongst the goals?
And totally. I think a lot of respect needs to be pinned to his name. I think there's a lot of noise to what he doesn't do, but I think we've got to not get away from the fact of what he does do. He scored 17 goals last year when he came into this football club, and that in itself is a great return. And he's been patient. He had a working week leading up to the first game that see him out of the starting 11, and that was very much circumstances, not his own doing. A new addition in the family is quite a good excuse. But yeah, he's had to be patient and wait his turn to get through the middle. And I said, when your chance and moment comes, make sure you grasp it. And he's definitely answered, any critics, if there was any, which there shouldn't be, with 2 really well taken goals. I think the passage of play for the first one was excellent, and the efficiency on the second one, it was a great strike. So really pleased for Femi. But like I said, there was a lot of good performances out there.
Yeah, on to Saturday, where it's the FA Cup game against Barton Rovers. What goes into a successful cup run? What do you need out of your players that's different for cup competitions?
A certain amount of fortune. I think at cup competitions, it's on the day, isn't it? You're reliant on officials and performance, and obviously selection. We'll get our due diligence done on Barton Rovers. They've had a really good start to the season. I think they were 3 from 3 to start with. They got beat Saturday in the trophy at Billericay, but we've been told of 1 or 2 of their dangers, so we'll be taking them seriously, and all the preparation will be done as it should be. And we are desperate as a management team and as a changing room and group of players to have a decent FA Cup run this year. I think it's something we've come up shy with in the first 2 years in my tenure, and we're going to do everything we can to try and get to that stage where we all can enjoy, which is obviously the first round proper. But 4 tough games before, and it starts Saturday with Barton.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Gary. Congratulations.
You're welcome.